Hey guys, welcome to a very special edition of my movie collections update video for the month of June 2015, guys. I know I've been out for a little while, guys. I think I haven't posted up anything last month. I've been pretty busy with work, trying to put in final grades for my teaching job, so finally that stuff is finally out of the way. I was able to watch a couple of movies, and pretty much this is going to be a large compilation of the movies that I've been watching or I have watched during the last 2 months or so. Alright guys, so it's going to be fairly large compared to any of the other videos I've seen that I've uploaded before. So guys, as always, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Send me comments on what you think, guys, and let's get started. Alright, so first off, I want to start with some of the digital movies that I actually watched throughout the last 2 months, and there's only really two of them, and it's basically Gun Ho and Top Secret. Both of these movies actually came out during the mid 80s, and I remember watching these films, and it was pretty nostalgic for me to actually find these movies again and rewatch them, because now that I've watched them again in over 20 years, I looked at it with a different eye compared to just thinking of them as being funny, comedic, and fun films before. I mean, there's still those things, but there was a lot more going on in terms of, like, for instance, Gun Ho with Michael Keaton playing the guy that works at the motor company, goes to Japan, brings the Japanese over to try to get them to reopen the factory, and the different work ethics and things of that nature in terms of the conflict, trying to get along, and eventually how they do get along. I mean, it's a great film. Top Secret, Val Kilmer. Man, seeing Val Kilmer a lot younger and thinner and dancing, it's quite an interesting experience, to see something like that, especially with him in it. So it's a lot of fun. Both of these movies, guys, are great from the 80s. They're part of my childhood. I remember watching them, so it was really a lot of fun to rewatch them again. Brought back a lot of nostalgic memories. The first movie that I have to show you is this film called The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley. And it's about Benedict's character. He is kind of enlisted by the British government to try to break the German Enigma secret code, which is, I think it's called Enigma, as a matter of fact, anyway. So, and this was, I believe, I believe this is the Second World War. Yeah, during the Second World War. And the Germans had developed this secret encryption code, which they called the Enigma, or this machine that they were, his character was being contracted to try to decipher, to try to break it. So he kind of forms this team to try to break it. So the whole movie is basically just trying to show you what led to the events of them breaking the code, and ultimately like the creation of the first computer, actually. So it was really good, guys. I mean, I really enjoyed the performances by both Benedict Cumberbatch as well as Keira Knightley. The next film that I have to show you is the last movie in the Hobbit series. So it's The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies. This pretty much just closes out the entire Hobbit series. A lot of stuff happens in this movie. I'm going to keep my comments pretty short on this one. Overall, guys, I mean, it was a great movie, visually as always. But the thing that I kind of felt is that it felt like it was a third act, which really wasn't necessary at all. I kind of felt like everything that happened in this movie, they could have and they should have kind of, just put it in the last movie, in The Desolation of Smaug. Because there are certain things that happen in this movie within the first 15 minutes of it that kind of just let me think, oh, that's it? That's it? They dealt with that situation so quickly that what's going to happen with the rest of the movie? So, I mean, it's all building up to, of course, the battle of all the armies that are involved in this movie throughout the entire, trilogy. And again, visually, and graphically, it's amazing. It's great to look at, but I just kind of felt like it really wasn't necessary. So, I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't really my favorite. The next movie that I have to show you is Jake Gyllenhaal and Nightcrawler. Jake Gyllenhaal has been surprising me. The few films that I've watched of his in the past couple of years, he's been really surprising in terms of the roles that he's been taking and the characters that he's been embodying in a lot of these films. And here there's no exception, where he plays this very controlling, manipulative, eccentric character who goes about getting into the, I guess what's called the Nightcrawler business, which is basically, just people that go out and film stuff that happens and try to sell it to TV news stations to get payment out of it. So, and he kind of devises this whole way, of trying to make it big in this world by doing this. So, there's a lot of things that he does, kind of, I don't want to say illegally, but it's like he's crossing certain lines, certain boundaries between the moralistic as well as the business aspects of what he's trying to do. So there's a lot of conflicts that come in here, and just seeing how Jake Gyllenhaal balances all of this out and how his character goes from point A to point B is really pretty intriguing. So I definitely really enjoyed this movie a lot, guys. So I would definitely say this is definitely If you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out. Jake Gyllenhaal and Nightcrawler. The next film I have to show you is this movie from Disney called Into the Woods. And it's basically a retelling, I believe, of several different Disney films, which are actually based on, you know, the Grimm's tales. So you have a retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk, of Cinderella, of Little Red Riding Hood. I forgot what else. There's, I believe, maybe one or two more fairy tales that are kind of interwoven into this movie. But I have to say that it was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. The next thing that I have to show you is probably one of my favorite trilogies now that I've come across. And it comes from something that I remember watching a long time ago when I was younger, you know, which is an anime. And it's the Rurouni Kenshin trilogy pack. This series, guys, is amazing. If you ever watched Rurouni Kenshin, the actual TV series, the anime TV series, and you love that, you definitely need to watch these films. These are probably the best adaptations of any anime that I've ever seen, you know, and I don't think I've seen that many, but this is probably, you know, the best one out of anything I've ever seen in terms of a Japanese anime adaptation into live action film. And it's unbelievable, guys. I may have to do a separate video just to really talk in depthly about what I think about these films, because all three of them are amazing in terms of, you know, how they managed to encapsulate all the stories from three different separate narrative plots revolving certain characters in the series. It's amazing, guys. Definitely check it out. If you can get this, especially the 3-pack series set on Blu-ray, do so, guys, because it's well worth it. These movies are amazing. Alright. The next film I have to show you is Liam Neeson in A Walk Amongst the Tombstones. Again, Liam Neeson now has been known to play a certain type of character. He is kind of like the contemporary action hero now, kind of like almost like the anti-hero type of, you know, action star, action hero, whatever it is you want to call him. And in this movie, basically, is no exception. He plays an ex-cop turned private investigator who is contracted by a drug lord to investigate the murder of his wife. And there's a whole lot of things that happen in terms of his investigation, which leads him into finding the actual people that are involved in the killing and why they're doing the things that they do in the first place. It's a real interesting story, guys. I really did enjoy this movie a lot. The next film that I have to show you is, of course, Keanu Reeves and John Wick. What can I say about this film except that it's really interesting to see Keanu Reeves play a character that has a historical past with the mafia, to the point that he's basically feared by the same mafia that hires him and any other, you know, characters that are in the film, because they know of his character. The name John Wick is already, you know, it's legendary and it's feared by everyone. So it's basically, don't cross him, don't do anything to get him angry, because it could come back, you know, and bite you in the ass. And it's really intriguing. I mean, it's a lot of fun, guys. I mean, that's basically what I want to say. But it's just really interesting to see Keanu Reeves playing a character where, you know, he's feared by everyone. The next film that I have to show you is also from Disney, and it's Big Hero 6. Completely enjoyed it, loved it. You know, I love all of Disney's animated films, especially their CG ones, whether it's from Disney itself or from Pixar, of course. And this one, you know, it's a great film. It's amazing, guys. You know, it's a lot of fun. Basics, you know, synopsis of the story is we have these brothers who are inventors, and the youngest one decides to enter, you know, a contest to get, you know, accepted into a school where his older brother is a student. And during this exhibition, there's a huge accident that happens, an explosion. The older brother is killed, and the younger brother is left, you know, trying to pick himself up, you know, after losing his brother. And he kind of discovers that the accident really wasn't an accident that killed his brother, but it was actually a premeditated type of situation that happened. And so basically the brother kind of gets his friends, his older brother's friends, to help him investigate and figure out what led or who actually caused the explosion that killed his brother. And that's pretty much where now the whole main character of this balloon cat, this self-help type of robot that the older brother created, you know, and they form this team of superheroes that go about trying to figure out what's going on and what happened, and, you know, trying to find a villain. The next film that I have to show you is St. Vincent. Bill Murray is another actor that I've come to appreciate as of late, you know, in terms of the roles that he takes. You know, I don't think he does that many movies. You know, I think he's carefully choosing his roles. And this was, you know, one of those that, you know, I really appreciated, you know, the character that he played. He basically plays this old man that has a tough time, getting along with other people. And enter, Melissa McCarthy's character, who plays this mom and her young son, who are new to the neighborhood, and they're just trying to, get along. And unfortunately, they just happen to have Bill Murray's character as a disgruntled neighbor next to them. And the story basically revolves around Bill Murray's character and Melissa McCarthy's young son, kind of getting to know each other, through a series of unfortunate situations that kind of bring them together. And it's just an exploration of, trying to figure out why Bill Murray's character is the way he is, and how the little boy pretty much figures out what's wrong. And, he kind of takes kind to him, he kind of gets close to him. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens in this movie that's really a lot of fun to watch, guys. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. The next film that I have to show you is Michael Keaton in Birdman. Now, this movie, I can't even explain what the synopsis of this film is, except that it's about, a one-time big action film star who quits the movie business, kind of comes back into it again, but rather than going into the film business, he kind of goes into Broadway and writes and stars in a play, I think revolving around the character Birdman. No, not the character Birdman. I don't think it's about the character Birdman. He creates a play that he stars in regardless, all right? And it's basically about just, the whole film is about following Michael Keaton's character as it's kind of like a bit of a self-exploration narrative, and where you're seeing basically the struggles that he has trying to, adapt to the situations in the creation or the production of the play. His daughter, played by Emma Stone, and just trying to get along with her, and then dealing with himself as well, because he has his alter ego, which is the Birdman character that he kind of constantly talks to throughout the film. And it's actually one of the more interesting segments of the film, when you see him basically talking essentially to himself, to his alter ego, but some of the kind of mind trippy sequences that happen in the film as well. And there's a lot of really close, intimate shots, between either Michael Keaton or any of the other characters that I really enjoyed about this film. And that's pretty much it, guys, in a nutshell, because there's just so much that happens in this film that I may have to watch it again anyway, just to kind of get reacquainted with it. But definitely a great film. I really enjoyed this one, guys, So definitely check out Birdman if you haven't done so already. And the last film that I have to show you, of course, is, since I have the other two films, it's part 1 of the Hunger Games Mockingjay series with Jennifer Lawrence. I have to say that I enjoyed the first 2 films. When it came to Mockingjay Part 1, I could see what they were trying to build up now. But for some reason, it just didn't come as effective as the past 2 films. So, it was good, but it wasn't something that I really kind of got into like the way I did with the other 2 films, following the character of Katniss. Absolutely, guys. If you like the Hunger Games film so far, definitely check this one out and add it to your collection too if you want to, guys, alright? And that's pretty much it, guys, alright? So, it was a pretty large selection of movies this time, because it's just a compilation of things that I've been watching over the last 2 months. And most of these movies, I'm sure that, they're already a few months old already, because they came out a while ago. So, but hopefully, guys, again, you enjoyed it. You like what I had to say about the films that I showed you. Give me comments, guys. Tell me what you think about what I had to show you. Give me recommendations. Tell me what you think I should be watching or looking forward to probably watching or getting later on that I might show in one of my later videos. And until then, guys, as always, stay safe and keep watching films, guys, alright? Take care, y'all.